So with so much confusion surrounding just who it is we are attacking in the region, it's constantly changing. ISIS, ISIL, it's the shell game. Now an al-Qaeda splinter group has risen from the ashes. The Pentagon has announced that this is just the beginning. So we feel like it's really important we should know just who we're dealing with over there. Now, joining me in studio is Joe Biggs. Joe, you've dealt with campaigns like this before. Who is this seemingly new group?
Well, right now there is a battle going on between two terrorist groups. You have al-Qaeda, and then you have the new ISIS group as well. Now, here's al-Zarqawi. Al-Zarqawi is a leader of al-Qaeda. He actually asked ISIS to come join arms and pick up with them. But Baghdadi is the group of ISIS, the leader of that group. He thinks that he is a direct descendant of Muhammad, and he is the one chosen to lead this caliphate, this new Islamic state to take over the globe, basically. So right now there's this huge battle going on in between the ranks. They have been outlawed by or disowned by the al-Qaeda group. So basically what al-Zarqawi wanted was for Baghdadi to come in and kind of help him out and do a lot of these bombings, hit Western targets for him. He's not going to do it, so they dropped him. So now you have the new guy for Khorasan. This is al-Fadili. He is the new group leader for them. And this is a small terrorist group, like you said, about 50, 60 men right now at the moment. But they are what they call core al-Qaeda members. They've been around for a long time. They're very intelligent and very skilled in urban combat. So this guy is from Iran. He is from the Khorasan area. Khorasan is comprised of a number of countries. It's Afghanistan, Iran, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. It is an ancient Islamic time, back around the prehistoric ages. These guys in a prophecy are supposed to rise up out of Khorasan with black banners like this, the one that you see bin Laden having, rise out and then instill this Islamic state worldwide. So they feel like they're the rightful heirs to take over and run this, but you have Baghdadi as well saying, no, this is what my group is going to do. So this bickering is going on back and forth, but what they've done now, they picked up this new group out of Yemen that specializes in non-metallic explosives. We all know the underwear bomber, the shoe bomber, things like that. They have failed tremendously in making these things work, but they think that they're going to bring these guys in and somehow be successful in coming into America and hitting Western targets in America and in Europe. Well, the interesting thing, though, is the area that they've decided to operate out of is Aleppo, right up here. The reason they picked that spot, the Khorasan, is because you have ISIS here in Raqqa, mainly in Syria. That's where they're running a lot of their operations for. Well, what ISIS is doing is they want to help topple the Assad regime. Khorasan doesn't care about that whatsoever. They're using this as, from a strategic standpoint, to bring in, when the Westerners come in from America, from Europe, places like that, they have to come in through here, come in, and then try to meet up with ISIS. So they're trying to cut them off, pick up Western fighters as they come in that have the passports, able to come back into America so they can try and use these non-metallic explosive devices on planes, in American cities, things like that. So there's a lot going on with that right now.
So the fact that they are trying to actively recruit people before they make their way over to the territory that ISIS is holding, is this potentially the terror threat that the Obama administration is citing, the imminent threat to the United States?
Well, yeah, I believe they're scared that there's a chance that someone could have access to come back into the States, because they're said today on the news a few times that they know that some of these ISIS fighters and other terrorists have come back into the U.S. So that's the threat they're talking about. They're afraid that you're going to get some of these non-metallic materials passing through security again and having some other kind of incident. But so far, these guys have tried it 3 times. They've been unsuccessful thus far. But what's going on right now, the reason there's a battle between these two guys, al-Qaeda is trying to make a step back up, because we know that ISIS is now the largest funded terror group. You know, they're the name in the news every day. Al-Qaeda kind of feels like they're being left out, I feel. So they're trying to bring in some new blood, get these Khorasan guys to come in, see if they can help fire up and bring al-Qaeda back in the picture. So another reason why they were in the final stages of almost having this imminent attack somewhere in America, because what they feel like, I believe, is that if they strike first, they're going to now deter people from wanting to go join ISIS, because they're going to say, wow, Al-Qaeda, Khorasan, these are the guys really fighting in the jihad. We want to go with them. So, like I said, it's this battle between Al-Qaeda, ISIS, but we all funded them all. It's this round robin of our money somewhere in all of this at all times.
Right, explain that a little bit. I mean, we've got this ancient battle going on, but we've basically supported and trained these groups, and then they've sort of broken off. Because I hear a lot of people kind of confused about, well, how can they be a threat when we basically created them?
Well, it's just like when you're a parent and you have a kid, you can only control your child for so long until he grows into an adult and goes about his own path. You know, we took these guys in the 80s, we funded Taliban, we had them going, we got Al-Qaeda, we backed them. You know, bin Laden's dead, they're kind of off the map. We need a new Frankenstein. We're giving money to al-Nusra, who gives it to the Free Syrian Army, who gives it to ISIS. It's just this huge carousel of our money, you find it everywhere. You know, when we helped topple Gaddafi and take out that used to be one of the most richest lands in Africa. And now we put those fighters in there, they took them down, and now it's like a ghost town. It's a horrible place. You know, we've done this in so many countries, like Honduras. We helped fund the coup that brought in the new government that now kills people in thousands. So every time we fund these people, basically what they're trying to do is help basically kill it off, kill everybody off, let them fight amongst each other, and then we go and we put in our puppet like the Karzai, whoever, to help and put in our Western agenda to run the country the way we want it so we can get their resources and use them for our elites, for our better.
Right, exactly, all for our interests. Now, when I first heard this last night, I was thinking, oh my goodness, World War III has just been launched. You know, the U.S. has been saying that it's going to be hard enough to fight ISIS. Now they're telling us they're fighting ISIS and a whole additional group. You have actually seen bombing campaigns like this before. Do you think that this is going to effectively cripple these terrorist groups? Is it just going to create chaos in the region?
This cripples our image globally. This in no way, because you've got to think, there's so much collateral damage. Raqqa and Aleppo are two highly populated areas. They go in and bomb them. Now, this is ISIS now. They're mainly going after, and like I said, Khorasan is not a very big group. So that's something we could have done there by itself in one campaign. But the fact that we're going and bombing all these spots, it's ridiculous. There's going to be women and children. You're going to have people growing up knowing that their kids, their family members have been, killed by American airstrikes. All that does is feed fire to a new generation of Muslims who hate America. Now, like I said, when they first moved from Syria into Iraq, actually up here around Mosul, they came in a linear convoy, bumper to bumper, carrying out artillery tanks, or artillery pieces, tanks, Humvees. All of that could have been done in a couple coordinated airstrikes with no collateral damage whatsoever, harming any of the locals or anything like that. Now we're trying to go after them when they're in highly populated areas. Like I said, all that's going to do is fire up these people and basically piss off more Muslims worldwide to want to stand up, join the jihad, and fight Westerners.
Right, and from a strategic point of view, the military could see by them not taking out that convoy, that would have been an easy moment. They know that the West has allowed it all to happen.
Yeah, because in military tactics, whenever you do a convoy, you leave 200 yards, 300 yards between a vehicle. That way, if something hits an ID or where someone mortars you or RPGs, that only affects one vehicle. These guys knew that they could travel freely through Iraq, not being bothered by any kind of air campaign based off of that. Riding bumper to bumper because a couple targeted airstrikes would have taken out all of ISIS months ago.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe. And you are absolutely right. This extended air campaign is only going to further bolster anti-American sentiment in the region for a whole new generation there.
Hi, I'm Dr. Group. Today, I'm proud and excited to announce a new product to the InfoWars Life product line. Introducing the first proprietary oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, OxyPowder. Backed by real FDA-approved phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials. People are suffering from all kinds of digestive issues these days. All the toxins from the air, the food, the water, everything that you're exposed to on a daily basis ultimately ends up in the gut or affects the gut. My main focus was to come up with a remedy for this, something that's safe and effective that anyone can take on a regular basis to keep their intestinal lining clean. You have over 30 feet of intestinal lining that can be compacted, that can be toxic, that can be full of parasites, fungus, bacteria. What are you doing to keep that clean and flushed out? My recommendation is to clean your intestines at least 2 to 3 times a week to prevent the toxic buildup from going into your bloodstream. You owe it to yourself to take your health into your own hands and start cleansing your body today with Oxy Powder. Secure your Oxy Powder today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.